Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome to our coffee times. Today with one of my favorite mugs, just because it's one of my favorite quotes from Strange Things, that is, mornings are for coffee and contemplation. And today I am here to talk to you about something really exciting, which is the second round of the evilathon, this time the full month of November.
It's coffee time!
So last year I decided I wanted to create my own readathon. I wanted it to be kind of, chill, something that we can all achieve, nothing too over the top. I wanted to make it accessible, and also I wanted it to be in November because I know there are many readathons already about horror in the month of October, and so I thought it would be great to do it the month of November. So what we're doing is we're just extending October, we are extending Halloween to the whole month of November, and we are reading some horror books together. This year I'm especially excited because since last year I have gained many new subscribers, so thank you everybody that has been enjoying the channel, subscribing, commenting and liking my videos. I appreciate it a lot, and I know some of you have been waiting for these readathon because you missed it last year because you were not a subscriber yet. So I am super happy to finally be here to talk to you about the 10 challenges that we're going to have this time around. So before we move forward with the 10 challenges, if you love horror and you love books, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload any coffee times. And now to the readathon. Like I said, it's going to be the whole month of November. So one of the things that I wanted to change this year is I wanted to pick a group book so that we all can read the same book in the month of November. It is a very long month, and so I thought it would be great to have a book that we can all discuss at the end of the month. So for that I have picked a new release. I figured that a 2020 release would be something that maybe not everybody has already read, and I wanted to pick one that people are kind of excited to read, or that I have seen many people mentioning that they wanted to read. And that is The Southern's Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. So I have been waiting to read this book and I wanted to read it before the end of the year. So I think it's gonna be perfect to have these as the group book. I'm sorry for everybody that has already read the book. This is now part of the challenges, so you don't have to read this book again or anything like that. But if anybody wants to join me while I read this one in the month of November, then you can do so. All that I remember from the plot is that we are in the 90s and we have this housewife that is kind of bored with her life, so she joins this book club, and then there is a really sketchy neighbor in her neighborhood and she starts to kind of spy on him or kind of investigate him because she thinks something's not kosher. So that's all I know. I just hope it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's move to the 10 official challenges. And last year I picked for the challenges books by Stephen King. So this year I thought I should pick another author to bring new challenges, and I decided to go with Richard Lehman because he has become now for me an author that I consider somebody I want to read all his books. So I figured it would be a good fit because he also has a lot of books, so I had a lot of titles to choose from. So let's go to those 10 challenges. The first one is a classic. It's Endless Night, the all-nighter, and it is to read a book over 400 pages, so a book that would take you all night to get through. And I really like to include this challenge on readathons because it kind of pushes me to read those big boys that I'm scared of myself. So I hope that it's also motivating you guys to read bigger books. And of course these challenges, you can combine them any way you want, so you don't have to read 10 books at all. You can just combine the heck out of the challenges. Next we have challenge number 2, among the missing, when you trust the wrong person. So for this one, I wanted to give an option to people that maybe don't read so much horror but do like thrillers. So this is going to be a challenge to read a dark or a horror / thriller. It can be any topic, any type of dark thriller, but it will be better if you can find one about betrayal. Number 3, bite. Be aware of the vampire. So this is the challenge in which you have to read a book that includes in one way or another vampires. This can be any type of vampires, and I wanted to have a couple of challenges that are a little bit more kind of straightforward, so that some of them are easier to fit, and not all of them are a little bit more challenging to find books that will fit. Next challenge is Quake. Brace yourself, and this is to read a book that has in the book, or they include, a natural disaster. You can stretch this a little bit, so anything that has to do with snowstorms, storms, I don't know, typhoons, whatever you want, anything that has to do with any kind of natural accident, disaster, just stretch it if you need to, but I thought this would be an interesting topic to maybe find some new books. Moving on to the next challenge, Island, holidays that turn deadly. So this is the challenge to read a book that includes a journey that goes wrong, and this can be anything from island horror books, which there are many out there, but you can also choose a road trip that goes wrong, or a hiking trip that goes wrong. So anything that includes kind of like a journey or a trip or a holiday, and it just goes wrong, and deadly most of the time. Next challenge is Dreadful Tales, short scares. So for this one, I just want you to read a couple of horror short stories. This is another challenge that I always like to include, because it is really nice when you don't have so much time one day or whatever, just to sit down and just read 1 or 2 short stories and feel fulfilled. Plus, there are so many nice, interesting books about short stories, and a lot have come out also this year, and I am currently in the middle of a couple of them. So if I don't finish them in the month of October, then I can finish those stories in the month of November. So if you also have laying around some short story books that are kind of spooky, or thrillers even, you can stretch it a little bit, and they are short stories, then you can finish them in the month of November. Challenge number 7, Flesh, Deadly Creatures, and this is to read a book that is kind of a creature feature, so something that has to do with a creature, whichever you want. Can be a sea monster, it can be any type of thing, it can be Bigfoot if you want, anything you want. Challenge number 8, No Sanctuary, Trapped. So this is to read a book where in the story people get trapped somewhere or are being chased somewhere and they cannot escape. So it can be a haunted house, it can be a cave, it can be people, I don't know, in the mountains that are being tracked down by somebody else, like people that are trapped somewhere trying to survive, fighting for their lives. So ideally it would be a closed space like an asylum or a hotel, whatever you want. But you can also stretch it a little bit and make it also in the wilderness. People are trapped there, somebody's trying to get to them. So yeah, I thought this was a really fun challenge to do. Next we have Funland, Welcome to the Party, and this is to read a book that has to do with a fun house, a town fair, even if you want to stretch it to some sort of like event or party, some sort of, I don't know, any kind of event like this that you can think of, then you can add it to your TBR pile for the month of November. And the last challenge is going to be Blood Games, the typical cabin in the woods. So this is to read a book in which there's a group of friends. We all know how this story starts. There's a group of friends that go somewhere together and they end up being either killed or chased by some evil spirit or by some serial killer. So it's basically to read one of those books with a trope of a group of friends goes here and there and yeah, they are being just killed or chased one by one. Or if you don't want to read a slasher because maybe that's too bloody for you, you can choose a book where a group of friends maybe go into a haunted haunted house and they're being chased by ghosts or something a little bit more like that, kind of like in the spooky spirits, and not kind of in the bloody gore part of the chasing. So whatever you want to do, basically. Also, I wanted to mention that you can read children's books, you can read middle grade, you can read adult, you can read whatever you want. You can read novels, novellas, graphic novels, whatever you want. This is totally open to you, as always. I just want to make sure that everybody feels that they can join whichever kind of books they choose to read. And last but not least, I would like to mention that I'm going to put up another video as soon as I can with some book recommendations for each challenge, so that you guys have a couple of books that as a reference in case that you have not been able to find anything for a specific challenge. Alright, you guys, so this was everything for today. I am super excited for the month of November to start, so that we can kickstart this readathon together. I'm going to leave all the information about the challenges and everything in the description box down below. I also wanted to mention that I do own the handle evilathon for Twitter, but I still have not had time to develop the page. However, if you follow me in Twitter, I do want to try this year to make some reading sprints with you guys to kind of motivate each other to read those pages. So I will be posting about it on my Twitter, so make sure that you're following me there. And I just cannot wait. I'm gonna try to vlog it this year. I hope that I can do it, and I hope that you guys are gonna have fun. If you have any questions, any doubts, please feel free to ask me anything. And yeah, I'm just so super excited. I'm also gonna put up my TBR pile soon, so that you can see, guys, which books I will be picking for the challenges. And as always, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support, and if you want to follow me on the social media, you know where the links are in the description box down below. And I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!